unhoused, unarmed person here in the parking lot of the Shell by the LAPD. His name was Victor Valencia, and he was killed last Saturday. Lex, you know who I am, but my name's Adam Smith. I'm an organizer with White People for Black Lives. Yeah, here in the City of Angels, where politicians continue to facilitate the building of hotels and luxury apartments instead of true affordable housing, where the greed of corporate landlords drives up the cost of housing and pushes working class black families and other families of color from their homes across the city, we continue to see LAPD as first responders to the struggles of poverty. We continue to see LAPD as first responders to the struggles of mental health. Sometimes it's a citation for simply existing that turns into an arrest and jail time. Sometimes it's encampment sweeps that see folks lose everything they have. And sometimes, like it was for Brendan Glenn and Jason Davis in Venice, like it was for Charlie Africa in Skid Row, and like it was for Victor Valencia last Saturday, sometimes it's death. Since 2020 began, it's apparent that there's been a rollout of increased enforcement against the houseless population of Los Angeles. More sweeps, more citations, and more confiscation. From Skid Row to Echo Park Lake to the Sepulveda Basin to the boardwalk in Venice, we must ask why the city is ramping up encampment sweeps in the days leading up to the point-in-time homeless count. And as we in the community continue to lift up the fact that houseless folks die 3 a day in LA, that increased enforcement and contact with the LAPD will continue to produce dire outcomes. Victor Valencia was houseless and apparently struggled with mental health issues. Should being poor and sick in Los Angeles be a death sentence? We must not let this be our normal. We must imagine a different Los Angeles, one where community safety and our collective response to struggle is centered on humanity instead of erasure and state violence. Victor Valencia was a member of our community, and he may have needed an intervention, but that intervention shouldn't have been an LAPD officer and a gun. And so today, as a community, we have 4 demands. We demand that the LAPD release the transcript of the 911 call, where somebody supposedly said that this man had a gun. We want the LAPD to immediately release the body camera footage, not 45 days, right now. We want to see what happened. We immediately demand also that the LAPD produce pictures of this alleged weapon. And finally, we immediately demand that the LAPD identify the name of the officer who discharged their weapon, killing Victor Valencia. We're going to open it up. General Dogon, other folks want to say some words.
Good morning, everybody. My name is General Dogon. I'm a civil rights organizer from Skid Row. I agree with everything that was said, that you just said. I think you laid it out good. Only thing I would have to add to that is that the situation is getting worse. It ain't getting no better. When you look around here, you see the chief at the police commission. He making statements, trying to justify the shooting by saying, "Oh, he had a bicycle part that looked like a gun." Right? I don't care if he had a hot dog that looked like a gun. It wasn't a gun. It wasn't the reason why you shot and murdered the folks. Right? And they just making excuse after excuse after excuse. The politicians we see in all 15 districts just don't have no political will to end this thing. Here it is. We gave them $1 billion 3 years ago for Triple H. Here it is, 2000 going in 2020, and we still ain't got not one damn house. Right? Arrests on the homeless folks continue to be up by LAPD. It's up 48%, right smack in the middle of a homeless crisis. Right? Look at the public health situation. We had to create a goddamn coalition, services not sweeps, just to go out here and remind the city that they need to put trash cans and shitters out here for people, and hand wash stations and stuff like that. Stuff that the United Nations, members of the United Nations, came from the other side of the world just to tell Los Angeles to knock it off. You know what I mean? That they need to address this public health crisis that they got going on. And they still ain't doing jack. When you look at it right now, they got 5 committees that's going. I don't know if I can name them all. The homeless strategy committee, the homeless oversight committee, right? They got 5 committees going on, and not one damn committee got one damn report to say they can throw on the table and say this is our plan to end homelessness. They don't even know what they're gonna do next. So it's gonna take us. It's going to take us to turn out and go to these meetings. It's going to take us to shut it down. It's going to take us to make them stand accountable for this. Right? We got to make them stand accountable for Victor. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? Right? If we going to come out here at 7 o'clock in the morning, we better do some fighting with that coming out here, standing up 7 o'clock in the morning, holding signs. Right? It's more that the time is now. The time's for us, because who's going to be next? That's what we say with our 3 a day. Who's next? Right? And they don't give a damn no more now. They shooting white boys, everybody, so you better stand up. It used to be they shooting black folks. They start shooting white folks, you know, so you really better stand up. And they don't give a damn. Right? So that's all I wanted to say, is that it's time for us to stand up and fight back. All power to the people.